Hello. My individual project was to make my own field guide. I had a goal of doing at least 50 objects, and it would include a visual of the object, its name, classification, and just a short little blurb, whatever I decided to put in. We started this project, I think, the 13th or 14th of April. It is to be handed in April 27th to be reviewed. What's today? I think today's the 30th or the 29th. I have not handed it in yet. I realized how insane my goal was. I thought 50 objects would be no problem. I actually had a list starting of 100 objects and was like, oh, I can blow this out, we'll be good. And then I actually started it and didn't get there. Not there yet. I also, in my project, I said I wanted to do it digitally with like digital art, digital drawing. That went out the window. I broke my Apple Pencil. And I don't have a way to draw anymore on my iPad. So there's no digital drawing. It's all in my sketchbook. Right now, I think I have about 20 in here, 20-ish. Don't think I'm gonna make it to the goal of 50. At this point, I'm just trying to do as many as I can before the end of the week. The beginning of this project, I spent a good time thinking about the plants and animals in my immediate area. We are on 83 acres, I believe, of land. And I was like, oh, that's cool. It'll be easy. I can go out, go on like walks every day. That'll be fine. And just whatever I see, if I recognize it, I'll jot it down and then I can put it in my field guide. Well, this showed me just how much I do not know. I thought I was pretty good at knowing names of trees, what they look like. I don't. Trees are trees. I only have a few trees in my field guide because they're like very easy to recognize or at least have an idea. Mostly I have plants that are not too hard to recognize. Also, animals. There's a lot of birds and I don't really know besides the main few what they are, so there's that. And then just some few like simple insects, easily recognizable, easily like well known. So my first couple of days was just thinking of what's around, and then beyond that I would go for walks every day, or every day that I could. We've had a lot of snow and rain, so there wasn't much of that. Lots of walks, really long walks. I actually didn't end up staying within our acreage, like the 83 something acres. At first my goal for this project was to limit it to only that, but we have a lot of woods. We have like 2 huge fields and then the rest of that is all woods, and believe it or not, after living here like 15-16 years, I still don't know my way that well around the woods. So instead of getting myself lost, I went through the paths that I knew pretty well, that I like grew up with, always on, popular, didn't really go beyond that, but I did end up going other places. So down the road we have a train track, and I would walk the track for however many hours until I was tired, and then however far I walked, I'd walk all that back, and so yeah, that was nice. I under the what do you call it? Suggestion. Sorry. Under the suggestion of Sean, I downloaded this. It's a tracking app, Gaia. Why can't I remember the name? Gaia GPS, I think. And whenever I went for walks, I would turn it on, track myself, and then it would show elevation, mileage. I think maybe it even like counts the time that it took. So I did that for every walk, and it showed a pattern or like path of where I went. So I'm gonna use that in part of my images, maybe, just to show where I went. And yeah. That I didn't think I'd like it, but I actually did. After like my second or third really long walk, I loved being able to go back and see where I went, how long it took, like follow myself on the map. And then also it showed me kind of the hot spots, sort of. I don't know if that was what you would call it, but like the popular areas that I would go through a lot. They'd have a lot of layering, and I thought that was cool because like you don't realize how much you're in one place until you have something telling you exactly like how much you're here, how often you pass through here. And actually some of my trips were round circles, and I didn't realize that I ended up in the same place until I was there. Basically, I'd get lost. I do that a lot. I'd go for walks, follow some roads, sometimes in the woods, and I'd just keep going and going and hope I made it. Not the smartest, but I did it. Sometimes I would use the compass on my phone, like the showing me which direction I'm going in, and kind of use that as my guide. And I think it was like once or twice that I actually ended up in the same spot, even though I went in like literal zigzags all over the map, which I thought was cool because kind of makes me think of like birds or butterflies, how they have their like internal GPS of going back to where they were born, or just different things that like you think they wouldn't remember for animals, but they do, like, and knowing where to go. So I thought that was cool on showing, I guess, sort of my own form of that, where even though I didn't recognize my surroundings or know where I was still able to somewhat get back to the same place and make it out. What else? Oh, one of my failures, I had a few failures. I think I mentioned it already. My goal was to do digital drawing for this. That didn't end up working, so that was a failure. My goal was to do at least 50 objects out of a list of like 100. Not even close to that, so that's another failure. And actually the weather, that's not, I don't know if I would count that as a failure, but my goal was to do a lot of the identifying and getting the objects to identify in my field guide and put in there from when I was outside and when I was moving around, doing my walks, stuff like that. But we have actually had like non-stop rain and snow. Like our snow finally just melted. We haven't had that many good days, so on the days that were nice, I just went for it. I think the one day I ended up at like 23 miles. It was insane, but I just wanted to get as much as I could in the short time that I could, because I know it's spring, but the weather's not really keeping up with that yet. So that was kind of a failure. A little bummed about that, because this project, I wanted it to really, like, I mean, I love going outside anyway, but I wanted it to like really take me further outside and like connect more. So not being able to go outside and spend such like long periods of time outside in the woods, like just doing my thing, wasn't ideal, but we did it. Observations. I guess I already said it, but I don't know nearly as much as I thought I did. Um, Back in middle school, like 8th grade, our science teacher had us do a leaf project where you had to have like hundreds of different like pages on leaves that you'd find in the area, fill out like all these maps, this information about the trees, the genus, the families, like all that stuff. And I never actually did it because we had like just moved up here at the time, and I came right as they finished the leaf project, but all three of my siblings did it. So I thought, like, hey, from helping them do it like all these years, like three kids in a row, like I should know something, at least a little bit, to be able to get by. But I don't know if it's I just never knew, or if it's been so much time, but I didn't know much of anything. My grandpa was like really big on songbirds, or any birds in the area. Like him and my mom, they know a lot. They can tell you just from like listening to their calls what it is. I think I only know or recognize like 5 birds that I saw. The others I had to like ask my mom for help, or try and like take a picture if I was fast enough and look it up later to put in the guide. So yeah, a little embarrassing for me thinking I knew all this stuff, but it kind of just made it more fun because I was able to learn more, to know more, to connect more to my surroundings and like outside and nature and stuff. Also, the few objects that I had in my field guide that I was doing, that I thought I knew, throughout my research of them, of filling out like their little blurbs and stuff, I found a lot of cool, like interesting facts that I didn't know about particular things, and kind of surprised me, so that was fun. Honestly, this whole project has been like really great. I definitely want to keep going, but I have to like finish up enough to get it in. I'm not gonna have my goal or as much as I wanted, but I'm proud of what I do have, and it's been a lot of fun. I want to fill up my sketchbook with it. Like this, I got a brand new sketchbook, was like, I'm gonna fill this, I'm gonna like fill it just completely with all this stuff. I'm gonna like separate it into like sections, make it really organized, just go all out. And I don't think I have more than like 25 in here. It's so sad. Like my sketchbook's so empty and just like this little section of stuff. So I want to keep with it. I want to fill it out, finish it. Just fill it up as much as I can. Yeah. I don't know if we have to have this typed out or not, but I figured video if we can, that'll be cool. Plus, I feel like it gives it a more personal touch. Kind of hearing back from the person, like, I like that. I like connecting more than just reading it on paper, because I feel like that's very disconnected and it's hard to feel it, you know? This, I don't know. I think it's gonna rain out. It was nicer today, like earlier today. I don't even know what time it is. I've been outside all day. It was really nice for a while, but clouds are rolling in. It's getting really windy. I think it's gonna rain again. Yeah. One thing that, now that I'm thinking about it, looking at where I'm standing, as kids, we used to like play in the woods and have like separate trees that we gave names, like not even their real names, but just names. We used to build like a shit ton of forts, and just walking around the woods again, like surrounding our house, our property, I stumbled upon a lot of stuff from us when we were kids, different things that I was like, oh, I totally forgot about that, like, I can't believe this is still standing, or I can't believe like all this stuff is here. So that was like a more like personal object of it that I really enjoyed. Yeah, thankfully with like the warmer weather, bugs and stuff weren't too bad. I got quite a few ticks. That wasn't fun. Most of them I caught like on my clothes, but I think I had like 2 or 3 that actually like bit me, so that wasn't too fun, but thankfully I'm alive. Um, yeah, didn't really dress the best for when I did go out. A few times I'd have on like my boots and some jeans or something and a sweatshirt, and I was pretty cool. But then other days, like today, I'd be out like in all day out in the woods, just in a hoodie and shorts and my boots, which kind of funny looking, but not the smartest for weather-wise and pests. Yeah, oh, I think I was supposed to say the name of the, I don't know. I guess this project would be, titled Backyard Wilderness or something. I don't really know. I'm horrible with titles, God. Yeah, we'll get back to the title. But no, this was really fun. I enjoyed it. I still want to continue, but for deadline purposes, at least in this part, it has to end. Has to stop. But I want to finish. I want to keep going, keep myself busy. Yeah, so that's that.